Hello, Lexi and Dylan. This one's called The Lost Library by Jess McGeechan. The Lost Library, isn't it magical, eh? When Oliver moved to a new house, he had to leave lots of things behind, but at least he had his books. He could escape to different worlds with a turn of a page. Oliver knew all about books, but even he was surprised to find one fluttering behind his bedroom cupboard. It must have been left behind, thought Oliver. He would have to keep it, but it belonged to somewhere else. Please return to the Lost Library. Where was the Lost Library? Surely someone must know, thought Oliver, but everyone was too busy or too sleepy to pay any attention. Everyone except for Rosie, his new neighbour. I know someone who might be able to help, she said with a smile. Oliver and Rosie walked quietly to the front desk. The fluttering book closed its covers and dropped into Oliver's hands. We can ask the librarian, said Rosie, but Oliver had a better idea. He gently slipped the book into the return slot. No sooner had it disappeared than the floor beneath them gave way. They hurtled down and down and down. They landed with a soft thud. Books of every shape and size filled the shelves around them. I think we're trapped, whispered Oliver. How exciting, replied Rosie. At least we found the Lost Library, said Rosie cheerfully. Oliver sighed, but now we're the ones who are lost. They made their way past books about pirates in Peru, toucans and tennis, and when they got to books about boats, they began to row. As they sailed past books about storms, Oliver felt nervous. I'm not a very good swimmer, he said, but his words were lost to the wind. Luckily, just within reach, Rosie found a book to help. Oliver read how to knot a bowline and hoist the mainsail, and Rosie sailed them safely to shore. As they walked, they found themselves surrounded by trees, just a few at first, and then more and more until a forest of books towered above. Let's go right, said Rosie. I think left, replied Oliver, but in the end it didn't matter. There was no path to follow. We'll never find our way out, Oliver said. Just as he was losing hope, Rosie found another book to help. Isn't that good? We need to stay calm and stick together, she said. Slowly the forest began to thin, and there at last, at the top of the tall bookshelf, Oliver spied the way out. But the bookshelf spied them too, for this was no ordinary bookshelf. This was a bookshelf dragon. Watch out, Oliver, called Rosie. The dragon snapped and snarled. It didn't like being woken up at all. Oliver was sure he was about to be eaten, and there was no book to help with that. But there was Rosie, for Rosie had calmly sat down and began to read aloud. If there's one thing everyone likes, it's being read to. Oliver and Rosie climbed quietly up the dragon's back, careful not to wake it. As they passed the librarian, Oliver paused. Excuse me, have you heard of a bookshelf dragon? He asked. Miss Hardback gave him a knowing style. That's a story for another day. Oliver and Rosie loved reading together. They could visit different worlds with a turn of a page, and they always kept an eye out for lost books, just in case. The end. Good night, baby. Sweet dreams. Love you. Mwah.